Alright. So I watched the Minecraft movie on day one in 3D. Per these awesome glasses, I think I look pretty good in these. I think I look pretty good. Let me tell you, it was a roller coaster of emotions. Confusion, cringe, and Jack Black just doing what Jack Black does. So, in this video, we're going to break down everything that the Minecraft movie did right and everything that it did wrong, and why I may or may not be quoting Steve in my sleep now. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Negative, and welcome to a movie review. Now, this is going to be my first ever movie review, so do let me know if you like this style of content, if you have any critiques, or if you just enjoyed it. So, to start off, we've got the plot. We're introduced to a young Steve who's been forbidden to go into the mines by some mysterious old man. No reason, no explanation, just vibes. Now, he's a doorknob salesman in a cubicle office of all things. But then, plot twist, homie sauces up the old man and goes back into the mines. When Steve gets to the mines, he finds two artifacts: the Orb of Dominance and the Earth Crystal. In his own very Jack Blacky words, I found this thingy and that cool thingy, and when I put these two thingies together, you guessed it, it opened a portal to another world. The overworld. Classic Minecraft 101 ensues. Crafting, monsters every 20 minutes, feeding a wolf, taming it. The wolf that he tamed, he named Dennis. After about a year, Steve and Dennis stumble upon a ruined portal. So, using his
flint and steel,
he's discovered
the Nether.
And enter our villain, Malgosha, a piglin sorceress from the Nether who wants to conquer all of the overworld. Dennis ends up hiding the Orb of Dominance under Steve's bed back on Earth because plot. Then boom, title screen drops. Like we haven't been here watching this movie for 30 minutes already. It was at this point I was stunned. I mean, in classic Hollywood and Jack Black fashion, everything was very animated and overly expressive throughout the entire introduction. It felt like the film was trying to force us viewers to feel the wonder and allure of the overworld, you know? It seemed as if the film wanted the audience to not only connect with it, but also push past our suspense of disbelief. This was made clear with the film's way of explanation and character motivation. You know, Steve's motivation felt very, very basic to connect with adults and kids. You know, the mundaneness of living day-to-day life and just wanting to do what you've always dreamed of. And then turning around calling key plot items in the story thingies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just felt very... There was no real sensible backing to how things work within the respective worlds. I found it a little peculiar, but 30 minutes in, it's whatever. Now, here's where things go full Jumanji. We met our four main characters. Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison, played by Jason Momoa, a washed-up arcade champ. Henry, played by Sebastian Eugene Hansen, a extremely talented kid who's almost too smart for his own good. Natalie, played by Emma Myers, Henry's older sister, aka reasonable human character, and Dawn, played by Danielle Brooks, a real estate agent that also has a mobile zoo side hustle. Yes, you heard me correctly. Now, to give you the fast rundown, Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison decides to buy an old storage unit. He's thinking he's about to strike gold with a vintage Atari console. Spoiler alert, he's wrong. What he actually finds was the Orb of Dominance, because all of Steve's old belongings were moved into this unit. Naturally, he takes it back to his shop. Nothing weird here at all. Meanwhile, over in the land of random people doing random things, Henry and Natalie, who just moved to Chugless, Idaho after their mother's passing, they're fulfilling their mother's dream by starting a new life here. I want to say like something's off there. I'm no expert, but Why just 2 kids? No other family? It feels a bit odd to me. But anyway, and who greets them on their arrival? Why, only the landlord slash DEI hire for the film, Dawn. Clap it up. Let's clap it up. Trust me when I say this, throughout this entire film, she's given no motivations, no personal development, and no struggles to overcome. She's only there to buff out the plot, to put it simply. Dawn is a grind-set black woman with a side hustle that's straight out of a fever dream. Yes, you heard me correctly earlier. She's a real estate agent who has a zoo side hustle.
Why is there an alpaca hanging out of your car? Well, real estate's not my only hustle. I also do some mobile zoo stuff on the side. Anywho, I gotta run. Call me if you need anything.
Now, Henry bumps into Garrett at his own shop on the way to school, exchanging numbers and a miscellaneous conversation that has no purpose aside from the two of them meeting each other. Then, on Henry's first day at school, you know, Henry being Henry, casually builds a jetpack. A couple of students dared that it couldn't be done, and so, of course, he builds it. The mean students sabotage the jetpack, and surprise, the jetpack malfunctions, flies across the sky, and blows up the town's potato chip mascot, aka where Natalie works. Also, I'd just like to point out, this fact is never again addressed in the real world, so I guess there's just no laws here, no punishment for anyone. Also, shouldn't there be some kind of like regulation? Why is the factory so close to the school? Like, I feel like I'm on the playground, like, with expulsion now looming over him. Henry calls Garrett to pretend to be his uncle to get him to bail. Henry and Garrett beeline for the shop to, I guess, figure out what exactly is going on with these storylines that have absolutely no chill. Now, I wanted to do a slight interjection here. What in the world is Jennifer Coolidge doing here? She's sprinkled throughout the film as a B plot of sorts, and woo boy, is she cringy. Marlene is a newly divorced vice principal who really overshares and is super desperate for a new man. And I mean desperate.
Garbage man, huh? Oh, you can bag me up and take me to the curb anytime. But you gotta bungee the lid, because I got a lot of raccoons in there.
Yeah. More on this later. So, Henry, being the I'm too smart for my own good kid he is, takes the Orb of Dominance and the Earth Crystal, combines them, and suddenly they're off to the mines. Now, because Natalie and Dawn, worried about where Henry could be and finding out that he blew up her new job, go hot on their tail by tracking their location. Everyone meets up at the portal, and bam, the gang gets sucked into the overworld. You know, classic Jumanji style, just without the board game or, you know, any sort of sensible explanation. Meanwhile, sorry, I gotta lock in for this part. Malgosha, who's just so angry that the Orb of Dominance has returned to the overworld, decides to use Dennis's collar as blackmail for Jack Black in order to retrieve it. Fun fact, I'm not sure why this is also never addressed, but Dennis has been chilling. He's been on Earth the whole time. Like, they'll show you clips of him running around. Like, I'm sure soon after this, we literally see Dennis run into the caves after they've been teleported out. So it's just like, what? Anyways, I guess that's just enough motivation for Steve to follow her command. So he sets out, and now we cut back to our heroes and their first night in the overworld. Things quickly dissolve into chaos. Skeletons, spiders, zombies, oh my. Then there's Henry, who runs into a tree, sees the cube of wood, and is just like, he immediately becomes like a master builder and can like see all of the numbers in his head, and he just starts whamming the blocks down, like building a hut for everybody. In the middle of all this madness, we get the absolute gem of Garbage Man getting blown sky high by a creeper. On it. The earth crystal shatters, and the building gets overrun by the mobs, and in a convenient plot twist, Steve shows up right on time. He claps every mob invading the place until sunrise. They decide to play Little Boo Thang by Paul Russell for this entire scene. If you don't know the song, yes you do. Trust me, you do. You my little boo thing. After this, like no. Yeah, you get it. You get it. You get it. Okay. After some emotional bromance between Garbage Man and Steve, a lot of exposition that just needed to happen, Steve agrees to guide our heroes to the Woodland Mansion in order to find a new Earth Crystal so that they can get back home. In exchange, they're going to hand over the Orb of Dominance to him. But first, they need supplies in order to get to the mansion. So they set off to a nearby village. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Jack Black. This film was clearly ready to ride the Jack Black hype train. After the success of Peaches from the Mario movie, Warner Brothers was like, yeah, let's cash in on that cow. So when we roll up to this village, they're suddenly greeted by a chicken vendor, and then Jack Black just bursts into song about lava chickens. I was like, bro, what? Like, at no point was this random musical moment set up. It didn't make any sense. It came out of nowhere. Don't get me wrong, like, it wasn't a bad song, you know, like lava chicken. Like, it wasn't like a bad song. It's classic Jack Black. Like, on paper, it's great, but did it need to be there? It felt like the movie was about to just start becoming a full-on musical with Jack Black singing every part, and at this point I'm begging that that's not where the movie turns, because I can't. I can't, man. On the bright side though, the film at least kind of acknowledges that the song isn't a masterpiece by calling it, and I quote, sucking butt.
I'm a small business too. The one thing I try to do is not have my jingle suck butt.
Now, this is the part where the movie suddenly remembered, oh, character arcs. We finally get a peek behind the brain rot curtain and see that Natalie is basically in full big sister mode. He's worried about Henry because, well, he's different. Like, jetpack on day one blew up my job different. Kid walks into the overworld and instantly understands how it all works, like he downloaded a wiki into his brain. Meanwhile, Natalie's still grappling with the fact that all of this chaos has happened on like day 2 of their new life. So she's keeping an eye on him. Henry overhears her saying something like, "Did you see what he did?" And he instantly just spirals.
Well, maybe I belong in this wrong. Henry, that's not what I meant. It's not what I was saying at all.
Did she mean it maliciously? Nah. But in his teenage brain, she's now an op. She's against him. So, boom, emotional rift unlocked, seeds for future conflict planted. Anyway, the party decides to split up because that always goes well. So, Group A, Steve, Henry, and Garbage Man Garrett. Group B, Natalie and Dawn, aka the sensible half of the group. So, Garrett, now holding the Orb of Dominance, get this, decides to blackmail Steve for a stash of diamonds so that he can bring it back to the real world. Buddy's trying to turn a cosmic artifact into a side hustle. Like, why is everybody gotta keep blackmailing Steve? Steve's like, bad idea. Dangerous. Garrett's like, shiny rock, go brr. Meanwhile, back in the Nether, we get to meet Commander Chungus. Not Big Chungus. Don't sue me, Warner Brothers. Just Commander Chungus.
Hey, Malgosha!
Like so, Malgosha, our Dollar General female Muzan, sends him to retrieve the orb and unalive Steve. Now, I want you guys, for those of you who don't know, in the film, piglins cannot come out into sunlight, otherwise they turn into mindless zombies. So Chungus shows up, yeets himself into the village, and now we're into a giant fight montage. Everyone's beating each other up, things explode. Eventually, the team gets split up mid-escape because why not? Group A takes the scenic route through the Redstone Mountains after narrowly escaping from the piglins, while Group B hooves it straight to Woodland Mansion. Oh, and for failing at his one job, Chungus gets unalived by Malgosha's new experiment,
The Great Hall.
So, Malgosha sets off this monstrous mob loose onto the boys, and the story continues. We cut to Dawn and Natalie casually having the deepest conversation of their lives after beating a zombie into a rotted pulp like it owes them rent. The scene suddenly pivots into an emotional TED Talk about adulthood, failed dreams, the existential dread that comes with life. Because, you know, nothing screams coming of age catharsis like beating the goofy out of the undead mid-therapy session. Then out of the fog, an angry wolf approaches. Dawn somehow calms it down with one bone. One bone, mind you. When has anyone ever tamed a dog with one bone? And if you say you do, you're lying. They check the tag after they've tamed the dog and realize it's Dennis. Steve's Dennis, his long-lost wolf. So they put 2 and 2 together, which means now the girls have a magical wolf Uber escorting them directly to Steve like it's no big deal. And they take off. It's plot armor on a leash. Amidst all of this chaos and plot patchwork, you start to feel something. Like this whole scene had an underlying message. The movie was trying to reach out to the parents in the audience. The ex-Minecraft junkies who grew up, got jobs, and wonder if chasing diamonds was ever worth it. I respect the attempt, but also the moment you start to think maybe this film has depth, boom, Dennis shows up like, hi, I'm here to move the story along, and just like that, and we're on to the next thing. Garbage Man's scheme finally bites them all in the butt. He demands this detour through the Redstone Mountains in order to get those diamonds. He gets what he wants, and surprise, they're attacked by the Great Hog. The team manages to nuke the crap out of the Great Hog with a creeper farm and barely escape, but now the tensions are high, and so we get the scene. When I was referring to the film trying to reach out to the adults, this was the scene for that. Henry goes off. We didn't need those stupid diamonds. I swear you're the most selfish person I've ever met. And Garrett, this middle-aged crisis walking in denim, snaps.
Whatever. I need them, okay? I need the diamonds because I need the money because I'm broke. You wouldn't know anything about that. My life sucks, kid, all right? I'm a freaking loser. I know it looks like I got it all put together, right? But that's not the reality. I'm not doing well. I'm washed up, Hank. I'm gonna lose everything. And that's not the worst part. I'm alone.
That whole scene really hit home. Me, who kind of has a similar stress over my head, it was just like, damn, that's facts. Like, that's crazy. Henry, disappointed, just says,
You weren't alone. I was your friend.
and he walks off. My heart did a little backflip. For a film about skeletons, zombies, lava chickens, like, this moment was legitimately the most raw human scene in the entire runtime. A genuine mediation on how desperation and survival can twist us. And for once, it worked. I think the movie really earned that moment. So I tip my hat to the writers for that one. To cut the fantastic emotional tension, we do another cut to Vice Principal Marlene. Now, I need to preface this because I didn't really cover this part yet. As our heroes were coming into the overworld, the portal was still open and a random villager walked through the portal. So now he's walking around back on Earth. He ends up getting hit by a car. Vice Principal Marlene is driving said car and she invites him out to dinner. Now we cut to the villager and Marlene hitting it off in the restaurant. When I mean vibing, I mean like flirting vibing. I mean, they've hit it off so well that she ends up inviting him back to her crib for dessert. I'm kind of mad because I can't even make the buy me dinner first joke because she took him to dinner, dude. Like I'm both disturbed and amused at the same time. But now our characters have arrived at the Woodland Mansion. Our team devises up one of the most ridiculous plans I've ever seen. They decide to use a musical number to distract all of the Vindicator guards while Henry sneaks up past the Evokers and a literal Enderman in order to find the Earth Crystal. Of course, the plan falls apart instantly. Steve and Garbage Man get kidnapped and tossed into what can only be described as Minecraft Fight Club, where Garrett has to square up with, you guessed it,
Chicken jockey!
After some thorough searching, Henry finds the Earth Crystal, but he didn't fully sneak past the Enderman, so he begins to succumb to the brain rot that it's giving him, just like the rest of our generation. Miraculously, but he snaps out of it and claps the Enderman by IRL button mashing. Like, what? Earlier in the film, Steve literally said that he nearly died fighting one to get an Ender Pearl, and this kid just wins. You can't set this mob up as super serious business, you know, as a rule, and then immediately break it 2 scenes after. The only excuse I can think of is to cut runtime, but that's a big no-no. You can't break your own rules within the film. It's one thing if you don't want to stay true to the source material, but you put it in the film. So like, what do you, that's just lazy. To me, that's just lazy. Fine. It's fine. Henry gets the crystal, snags the Ender Pearl, and does what any noob in Minecraft does best. Digs straight down and collapses through the ceiling back to the ground, exactly where the rest of the group is. So our crew runs outside, and naturally Malgosha ambushes them, steals the orb and the Earth Crystal. In a moment of redemption, Garrett pulls the classic, "You go, I'll hold them off" move, and fights the piglins on the bridge. Goes full action hero and dies in an explosion.
Tell my story in song!
Except I didn't buy it for a moment. In that scene, I literally told myself in the theater, like, oh, he's coming back for sure. He's probably at most launched away like Team Rocket. Like, there's no way he's actually dead. This is a kid's film, no shot. So we're met with another family time moment. After Steve and Henry crash and black out, they wake up to Natalie, Dawn, and Dennis. Now we get this scene where, you know, Natalie apologizes to Henry for all the things that she said. Henry forgives her. Natalie takes accountability. Henry chooses forgiveness. Life lesson. Boom, boom, boom. Life is too short, man. What matters is being whole with those who you call family. And I think that that's another nice touch by the film. It really is. And now we swiftly acknowledge Garberman's death and move the hell on.
Sorry about Garrett.
Hello? But this is the second time that a female-led emotional moment gets completely steamrolled by the script. The movie wants to connect with the adults, but then hits you with the plot rug pull. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel anymore. Am I supposed to feel sad that Garrett's dead? Am I supposed to feel happy that they've made up? I am confused. Am I supposed to feel all of the above? Like, what? I promise we're almost there, folks. We're reaching the climax. War and dark times loom over the overworld now. Malgosha has cast a forever night unleashing mobs and her entire army into the overworld to pillage everything in sight. Why? To rule. To ruin. That's the only reason that I can come up with. And it may not be bad for a children's film, but I feel like we could have done more. Her motivation, mind you? Yeah, apparently, when she was a young piglin, she was a contestant on The Nether's Got Talent. And she did an entire dance routine. I'm not gonna lie, that little piglin was hitting that. I'm just saying. She was low-key hitting that thing. I'm just saying. The piglin population laughed her off stage, they clowned her, and her father even chastised her. So from that day forward, she denounced all forms of creativity forever. Okay, wait. So because the overworld is a creative realm, she wants to destroy it out of jealousy? Wouldn't her beef be with her own people? The ones that shunned her? And then the further question, if you're the supreme sorceress of all the piglins, why enslave your fellow people and force them to continue mining gold, the exact tradition and ideology that got you clowned in the first place? Why do that when you could just free everybody from their torment and let them be free? I said free twice, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make... None of it made sense to me. So, and look, I'm not looking for, like, Vinland Saga levels of nuance, but dang, bro, like, can we get something? I digress. We're gonna move on. So to stand as the overworld's final saviors, the gang rallies a full-on counterattack. They've got iron golems, they've got swords, they've got a giant pack of wolves, redstone TNT traps, like everything. They got the whole shebang in like 1 minute. I can't lie, it was kind of hard, bro. Like seeing all these CGI forces clash and the animation team really getting fun with it, it somehow worked. Sure, the piglins look funny, but it felt Minecraft. It worked better than having human drama in a world of make-believe. Like it just worked. I was locked in. I was locked in fully. So while all this chaos is happening on the battlefield, Steve decides it's time to 1v1 Malgosha and set it straight for good. This has got to be like the funniest rendition of armor I have ever seen. Ever. It was so hilariously bad that like I know the filmmakers were in on the joke, and you know what, like I respect it. It was a power move. I thought it was funny. I think a lot of people found that funny. It worked. It really worked, especially in a schlocky kids film like this. While Steve and Malgosha are 1v1ing, Henry is trying to make his way up the giant portal to retrieve the Orb of Dominance in the Earth Crystal. He uses the Ender Pearl he got earlier, shoots it with a tater tot cannon that he made during the montage, and smooth as butter, teleports on top of the portal no problem. Until the Great Hog peeps homie's about to stop everybody, shoots a Z tier level shot at Henry. It blows him right off the edge of the portal, and the film goes into this slow motion moment, you know, and as Henry is falling to his doom, just when it seems like our nerd king is about to meet his end, boom, gas lift. Yep. Just like I predicted, our washed up broke boy hero, Garbage Man Garrison, returns from the dead and swoops in to save the day. Gotta clap it up again. So together, they use the gas blast by poking it, and it destroys the whole portal. And they save the overworld. All of the piglins transform into harmless, confused zombies, and Malgosha is defeated. As Malgosha withers in defeat, her and Steve drop some almost profound lines.
You too have fallen for the great lie. To hope, to dream, to create is to suffer.
You're right. That's why cowards tend to choose the deuce.
And even though Jack Black used his own Jack Blacky words, I was kind of like, dang, that's almost deep. And then it got better. She beckons Steve to come back over, and she's like, I gotta tell you something. Wait.
Ah, come on! I don't even have a knife. Where would I keep it? Sneak attack!
Dude, I was hollering. I don't care. That gag really landed. Like they earned some brownie points for me on that one. So alas, the overworld is saved. Our heroes prepare to return home. Steve calls out to Henry and asks, "Are you sure you want to go back there, Henry? It won't feel like here. There, got constraints, judgments, obstacles." And Henry, bless that boy's heart, just says, "Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna go make stuff anywhere." Steve ends up giving Dennis away. Steve did what? Wait. What? He sends Dennis off with Dawn, presumably to lighten up her life. So you're telling me that after you repeatedly said throughout the entire film how much you need to save Dennis, how you deeply love him, you're just gonna hand him off to a stranger you just met that has said you smelled 4 times and called you very, very unkind things? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Emotional whiplash aside, Jack Black squeezes in one more song, Ode to Dennis.
Go now, Dennis, change Dawn's life, Dennis.
I think that this song was very well made, and I think it was in classic Jack Black fashion, so I'll let this one slide. I'll let most of them slide, but you see what I mean with Warner Bros. Cashing in on that cow. So, Garbage Man and Steve share one final bromance moment. As Natalie heads towards the portal, she turns to Steve and she asks, "You sure you want to stay?" He's like, I got some stuff to build, you know. It's all good. Why don't you bring that magic back to the real world? You see Jack Black sitting there like, and surprisingly, he actually went with them. I think they chose to go with that beat because it's a sweet lesson for kids, you know. While the ending music montage starts running, you can hear Steve go,
If you're brave enough, you can make the real world your overworld.
Then they kick off the full Where Are They Now segment. The crew drops a new arcade game hit called Block City Battle Buddies, so now Garbage Man Garrett is doing much better in his business. Dawn goes full time into her black market animal entertainment business, with Dennis included, by the way. Natalie launches her own self-defense class called Survival Mode Self-Defense, because of course, why not? One more Minecraft reference. And Henry? Well, Henry is finally the cool kid at school. He makes the jetpack work. All the bitches love him, and the film closes out. Oh, and by the way, the mid-credit scene, we cut randomly back to Marlene and the villager standing in her office, which I thought it was going to be their apartment, but they're standing in the office, and they get approached by the random gym teacher earlier in the film, and was suddenly revealed to be her ex-husband. And the villager speaks in plain English.
Dry Clemente, you totally blew it. And now I reap the rewards of your mistake. When Marlene's Jeep Grand Cherokee ran me over, I was struck by a love so powerful, it transcended the barriers of conventional speech.
And even further in that scene, Jennifer starts to talk villager. I'm done. No more. I can't take it. That's all you get out of me. I can't. I'm done. In the end, the Minecraft movie was ridiculous, over the top, occasionally hilarious, and weirdly emotional. It's clearly made for kids, but you know, I can't lie. I laughed more than I expected. It's the cinematic version of mining straight down. Dangerous, confusing, but somehow you find diamonds. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's movie review. Leave a like, comment, and if you want more stuff like this, you should subscribe. Trying to hit a 200 sub goal by the end of the year, so if you guys could help me out with that, that would be fantastic. Let me know your favorite quotes from the movie, what you liked about the video, what you didn't like, and with that, I will catch y'all later. Peace.